A monster that eats annoying girls.
It's about time we talk about how Descendants 5 is really going to pay tribute. With Cameron Boyce's passing in 2019, the movie might include a funeral for Carlos, which would be a heartfelt moment. And just like the original trilogy, the ending of Descendants: The Rise of Red will have you craving more. We still don't know if the Queen of Hearts is still evil in the present day, so let's dive into everything we know about the upcoming Descendants 5. Suzanne Todd, the executive producer of Descendants: The Rise of Red, recently talked about how the movie pays tribute to Cameron Boyce. The Descendants series brought us some unforgettable villain kids like Mal, dubbed Cameron, and Evie, Sofia Carson, who found their way to independence and redemption in Auradon. In this new film, the spotlight is on Red, Kylie Cantrell, and Chloe, Malia Baker, along with their mothers, the Queen of Hearts and Cinderella. The movie also brings back familiar faces like Uma, Cheyenne McClain, and introduces a heartfelt moment dedicated to Boyce, who played Carlos in the earlier films. In an interview with TV Line, Todd explained how they approached honoring Boyce in the film. She mentioned that they wanted to make sure they did it in the most respectful way possible. McClain, who was close to Boyce, was part of the process, and they ultimately decided to highlight Carlos in a way that aligned with the film's themes. Todd shared, "We always knew we wanted to pay tribute. We went through several ideas to find the best way, and it was crucial to get it right." Todd also revealed that they had many conversations with McClain and her family to ensure the tribute felt authentic. The final scene, which focuses on inclusion and ending segregation in Carlos's name, fits perfectly with the values of the Descendants universe. When the scene was completed, McClain asked Todd if she could take home the photos of Boyce from the set, a moment that was deeply emotional for both of them. Boyce's legacy continues to be honored by Disney and the Descendants franchise. His absence was acknowledged in the 2021's Descendants: The Royal Wedding, where Mal received a charm bracelet to remember the original villain kids. In The Rise of Red, Uma speaks about updating Auradon Prep's acceptance policies in memory of Carlos, showing how his character's legacy lives on. Boyce's last performance as Carlos were in Descendants 3 and Wicked Woods: A Descendants Halloween Story. The tribute in The Rise of Red was likely very emotional for viewers, especially McClain, who shared a close bond with Boyce. They had previously worked together on Grown Ups and its sequel, and later on Disney Channel shows like Ant Farm and Jessie. Since Boyce's passing, McClain and other Descendants cast members have continued to honor him, raising money for the Cameron Boyce Foundation and raising awareness for epilepsy. His impact, both within Disney and beyond, is clearly felt by those who knew him and his fans, making the tribute in The Rise of Red all the more touching. That said, we didn't get to see a proper funeral for Carlos in Descendants 4, but Descendants 5 could finally give us that moment. It's possible we might see a scene where the characters gather at Carlos's grave, paying their respects and reflecting on his impact. This could be a powerful and emotional way to honor Cameron Boyce and give closure to the fans who have followed the series since the beginning. For those who might not know, when Disney announced the return of Descendants in September 2021, Deadline reported that 2 new movies were in development. The first of these, The Rise of Red, recently debuted, while the next film seems to still be in the works. According to Deadline, filming for The Rise of Red started in January 2023, and the movie was released 18 months later in July 2024. With that timeline in mind, we likely won't get a clear release window for Descendants 5 until the project moves further along in development, especially since it's unclear how far along the writing process is. Although Cantrell, Baker, and Renee haven't confirmed whether there will be a sequel to Descendants: The Rise of Red, they're all eager to return if another film happens. Baker, for one, is hopeful about a follow-up. She mentioned that she'd love to explore more of Cinderella and King Charming's land and see how Chloe's home life has evolved since she returned. She's open to the idea of Chloe having a romance in the future film, even though she appreciated that neither Red nor Chloe had a knight in shining armor in this movie. Cantrell shares similar sentiments, saying it would be fun to see Red with a love interest. She's also excited about the potential changes in Red's relationship with her mom and how their dynamic might evolve. I'm interested to see how that's going to work, she said. Additionally, she's looking forward to seeing the growing bond between Red and Chloe. As for Renee, who played the villain Uliana, she joked about being biased but would love to see an origin story for her character. She playfully suggested that it would be exciting if the V case could visit Wonderland, stir things up, and maybe see Uliana in charge. That said, one thing that might confuse some fans is whether Red and Chloe changed the present when they time traveled, and how that could affect Descendants 5. Just like the original Descendants films, which ended with open-ended conclusions, this film wraps up with a voiceover from Uma hinting that there's more to come. She teases that messing with time always has consequences. In an exclusive chat with People, Cantrell hinted at the butterfly effect of time travel, suggesting that Red and Chloe definitely altered something when they returned to the present. Renee added to this by noting that traveling to the past inevitably disrupts the future. No matter what your good intentions are, something is going to be out of place, she said, implying that Red might have caused more problems than she solved. Renee further speculated maybe Red did more damage than good, suggesting that the time-traveling adventure could have unforeseen repercussions. This idea raises the possibility that the events of Descendants 5 might explore the aftermath of Red and Chloe's actions, with the characters dealing with the unintended consequences of their time-traveling decisions. Fans should keep an eye out for how these potential changes could play out. If the time travel mission did indeed alter the present, it could lead to new conflicts and challenges for Red, Chloe, and their friends in the next installment. The impact of their actions could reshape their world in surprising ways, setting the stage for fresh storylines and deeper character developments in Descendants 5. Another question that's up in the air is whether the Queen of Hearts is still evil in the present day. In Descendants 4: The Rise of Red, even though Red and Chloe managed to stop Uliana, Red is still concerned that her mother might have retained her evil ways when they return to the present. When they get back to Auradon Prep, the events begin to unfold in the same manner as before. However, there's a notable change. When the Queen of Hearts turns around, her dress is now light pink, reminiscent of her younger days. And warmly greeting her daughter suggests that Red and Chloe's mission was successful, and that the Queen of Hearts never turned evil after all. Additionally, Cinderella is shown alive and happily greeting her daughter Chloe, further implying that their efforts had a positive impact. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. What do you think? Did Red and Chloe's time travel adventure alter the present in ways we haven't seen yet? Do you believe the Queen of Hearts is still evil, or did their mission really make a difference? Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.